Articulation basis, static and dynamic aspects. Differences in the articulation basis of English and Kazakh and Russian languages. Phonetic bases suggest a number of the most typical pronunciation tendencies of the language. These tendencies are perceived by listeners as a certain coloring of the language under the consideration. Since the phonetic deals with the sounds and intonation, we distinguish between two bases, the articulatory and intonational bases. So articulatory basis deals with two aspects, the static and the dynamic one. The static aspect is the position of the organs of speech provided when a person does not speak, or when he is about to speak, and when an isolated sound is uttered. This position of the organs of speech is usually called articulatory setting. General tendencies of the articulatory setting of English has four tendencies. The first one, the lips are spread and pressed tightly against the teeth. The second, the tip of the tongue is slightly curled back and is opposite to the alveoli, but does not touch them, so the tongue is drawn back from the teeth. The third one, the middle and the back parts of the tongue are flattened and lowered, so the back part in particular. The fourth tendency is the soft palate is raised, as in yawning, such as the position of the soft palate in combination with the lowered position of the back part of the tongue contributes to the increase of the mouth resonator. General tendencies of the articulatory setting of Russian has three tendencies. The first one, the lips are slightly rounded, with some speakers even protruded. The lips are not pressed against the teeth. The second, the tip of the tongue is put forward and touches the teeth. The third, the middle and the back parts of the tongue are slightly raised. Differences of articulation basis of English and Kazakh. It has four differences. For example, the first one. The positions and movements of the lips are very peculiar. On the one hand, when an English is silent, his lips occupy the so-called flat type position. They are more or less tense. The corners are raised as in a smile. A Kazakh keeps the lips rather lax, with the corners of the lips lowered. The second, in the production of English vowels, the bulk of the tongue is more often at the back of the mouth. In the reproduction of Kazakh vowels, the tongue is mostly in this front part of the mouth. Besides, the tongue may occupy more positions when articulating English vowels than in Kazakh vowel production. The third, this is especially felt in unstressed syllables. In English and Kazakh, an unstressed vowel does not always differ greatly from a stressed one. The fourth, there are in English short and long vowels which are different both in quality and in quantity. There are no such phonemic oppositions in the Kazakh language. The dynamic aspect of the articulatory basis is the matter of transition from a consonant to a vowel or from a vowel to a consonant within a syllable or at the junction of the syllables or words. This aspect also suggests the dynamics of the articulation of vowels in stressed and unstressed syllables. Here you can see three examples. For example, the manner of the transition from a consonant to a vowel may be characterized either as loose or as close. In different languages it is difficult. In English it is loose, while in Russian it is close. So, for example, niz, niz. In English, the first pretonic vowel has a high degree of reduction, while in Russian it has a very low degree of reduction. For example, suppose, sapok.